And there it is. I think I got it. Excellent. Welcome, everyone, to Fun in the Country Basement. It is that time again. Hopefully, I didn't mess anything up. I've got all kinds of backgrounds and stuff that I can click on. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to try to not work on stuff so dedicated and use all the fancy features this week. But we'll just go ahead and get some introductions out of the way. Walter, I'll let you go first.
Hey, I'm Walter Country 3D, and I'm still working on this damn bear today.
Darn bear?
Darn bear. Dang bear. Dagnabbit bear. Whatever you want to call it. This thing is sitting on my desk is what I'm working on today. You can find me at Country 3D at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. That's where it's at. And now let the guy down below me do this.
Hey, everybody. I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D. Welcome to Fun in the Country Basement, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. That's right. The points are just like DNA evidence in the OJ trial.
Woo!
I've been watching a lot of Who's Line anyway. So anyway, I can be found pretty much anywhere at Fun King 3D, funking3d.com. And today I don't know what I'm working on yet, but I'll figure it out. So that takes us to Chris.
Excellent. Yes, I am Chris Riley on the YouTubes. You know, I do videos and such, and I have kind of a thing for 3D printing cheese right now. And you can find me on the Twitter if you would like, Chris Riley 3D. And bravo to all the folks that barraged me with hashtags over the evening about 3D Benchy printed out of cheese. That was impressive. I appreciate that. But there's already a ton of people in chat. I see everybody you know. My new buddy John is here. He's been going through, bless him, he's been going through all of my videos in chronological order. So he's seeing some really fine work, I'm sure. But yeah, 3D Bent Cheese. There you go. That was the hashtag from last night.
3D Bent Cheese.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole chat, but hello, everyone. It's always good to see you here.
You know, I realized something today that that there's one like big downfall to being a YouTuber versus being on television, and that is that we can't use old footage as reruns because our old footage is always there. Like it never goes away.
You are correct.
Yeah, well, and you know, there's a few videos that I would just like to delete because they're bad, you know, but I can't bring myself to do it, you know.
Oh no, yeah, you go back and watch some of your real early stuff, and it's just like so cringeworthy.
Yeah, well, you know, and I was splicing. I was doing a lot of splicing, trying to get the video done, you know, in between statements. And I was like, man, why did I do that? But
Hey, I can't say nothing. You're right, though. I watched some older videos like yesterday, and they're cringeworthy. Yeah.
So I seen somebody, I don't know where the comment went yet. Oh, Patrick Nienhoff asked if we have bingo yet. We should have probably talked about that before we punched it up live, but should we go ahead and release the bingo? I mean, it's not done, but there's enough there that people could play along.
Well, I had some questions about how bingo was going to go, and we should have talked about this earlier in the week, or you know, the 30 minutes we spent talking to each other before the stream started. But so how is that going to? So you have a cycling, you know, so it spits out a different card for whatever refresh,
right?
But what just keeps someone from printing out every card? I mean, just
nothing.
No, so they're just ruining the fun for themselves, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to win a prize at the end of the game.
Well, that's true.
You know, it's just purely for fun and entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
So,
well, then then I think it's more than good enough to let people play with it. So.
All right. So let me. I'll pull up the link and I'll put it into the chat.
That is true. When I start printing bacon, I will have really made it.
I mean, there's enough stuff in there now that it fills in all 25 boxes. So, all right. So now for you guys to play this, for you to play the bingo game, you either have to print it out so you can mark the square, or you have to Sharpie onto your monitor. That's completely up to you. But if you choose to Sharpie onto your monitor, that's on you.
We're going to need a picture of that posted on the internet somewhere when that happens.
Yeah,
if you're a winner.
we are not to be held liable for the fact that you Sharpied your monitor.
Right. Hey, but if you do it, make sure you use Sharpie brand.
Oh yeah. None of that dry erase bull crap.
None of the dry erase bull crap there.
If you're gonna do this, just take it all the way.
Do
Martin
it right.
Martin said he'll put the marks on his monitor with a knife. Uncle Ron said his paintball gun.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, so there is the link, which is Fun in the Country Basement or funcountrybasement.com/FKBingo.php. And again, it's not fancy. And if this takes off, and this is honestly something that you guys want to continue doing, I will put some JavaScript in there where you'll be able to click on it and highlight the box so that you can just play on your screen and you don't have to print it out. I suppose you could also just take a scratch piece of paper and draw out the grid and then mark it compared to the one that you have on your screen. But don't refresh because you'll get a new card.
Talking about Mad Mike, talking about old videos. I had one where I was testing how to live stream at one point, and it's still up. But it was me eating cereal with a robot arm transferring a marble in between a. Nobody was watching it. You know, I didn't think I was going anywhere on YouTube.
And I know I've told this story like 100 times before, but when Xander and I first started, like he would do something and I would stop recording and I'd be like, listen, you can't do that. You have to be professional. Hey Xander, can you hear me? Okay. I was such a jerk. Nothing, buddy.
And during that video, I mean, I think there was like my buddies were in chat or something. But I was like sitting here just off screen watching this thing, just eating, you know. Really though, I had no idea that YouTube was going to go anyplace. I was just messing around.
Yeah, because I suppose your channel, it was your personal channel. Like you didn't start it as a brand channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just started posting stuff.
I had a video on my personal channel, and I don't think that it's still there, but it was something to do with adopting kids out of China, which my sister has done a couple of times. But there was a video that somebody she knew needed to get this video online, and they didn't know how. And so she asked me if I could do it, and I just uploaded it to my YouTube, figuring whatever. But it's it's my personal channel. It's not the Fun King channel. But the crazy part is, and again, I don't know if it's still there, but like a year ago, all of a sudden I got a comment on that video, and I'm like, I don't know what are they talking about? And I had to go dig up this video, and I'm like, what is this? You know, and it took me a while to realize what it was. So
yeah. Well, and somebody mentioned the OpenStack videos. And that's how I got started on YouTube. I was doing testing for cloud computing, and I was posting my findings.
Martin brought up a good point. He's going to use MS Paint, which if you're running a Windows 10 computer, you can also use the snipping tool. So if you do your Windows S type snipping, SNIPPING, use the snipping tool because it's got a highlighter right in there. So you'll be able to.
Patrick put that in the chat. That was a good idea. I didn't even think of snipping it, and you can paint on it that way.
Yep. So that's and snipping tool is going to become something else now. I don't know why Microsoft has to continuously mess with crap that they shouldn't, but because I use that snipping tool heavy with work, and then even on personal stuff, like if I want to post something quick to Twitter and I don't want to have to Photoshop it, I just
I use it all the time. Of course, nothing lasts forever. There's a rule in my house. If I enjoy it, they'll take it away.
They'll take it away. Snip and sketch. There you go. I'm gonna mess this name up, but as Bjorn Mickelson said, snip and sketch for those.
That's a great name.
Also updated Windows.
How do I get an O with a slash added to my name? Because those are really cool.
You move overseas.
Excellent.
I guess you should just legally change her name, but
I'm just going to add one on the end. I don't know how to
what's really
pronounce
hard is Russian. Russian has a whole bunch of letters that we don't have, and in the course of an email recently, I had to like pull up a chart of the Russian alphabet to write this person's name. I was like copying and pasting the letters because they have one that it's just a box like this, you know, a open bottom box, and then they got one that's got a little flare to it in a box, and I don't know. Capital T, but it's small, like a lowercase. It's crazy. So, Chris O.
Tom, the 3D Print Vikings, giving me one. Well, technically, my name is Christopher, so I already have one. I just
There you go. You already got a no in there. You just.
Yeah, I should probably be working on something.
So I was gonna come today. I was gonna come on and say, hey everybody, I have a wonderful surprise for everybody. As some of you might know, Joel Telling is here in Orlando on vacation, and I have no Joel Telling. Yeah, he's at the big Disney today.
Excellent.
According to either his Facebook or his Twitter. I can't remember which.
Did you see my sweet benchy tray I made, complete with rubber band seatbelts?
Yes.
You like that?
Yeah, I seen that you uploaded that to Thingiverse.
I've been, since I made it, I've been meaning to put my blue tape on there.
Just an FYI, the MK3 Mark 52 Y carriage will not fit the MK 2.5 M52 bed.
Oh.
And I mean, it's not just a little off, it's way off.
Huh.
I can't even like drill new holes and make it work.
So the 2.5 bed doesn't fit the 2 carriage?
It does, but I didn't. I bought just a i3 Mark III carriage off of Amazon.
Oh, Mark III
drill
carriage.
holes out of.
Okay.
Because I figured the 4 corner holes would at least fit.
Yeah,
they do not.
I gotcha.
Well, that is a bummer.
Patrick Nienoff said that could have been a square fake guest introduction. Yeah, but that's not going to happen very often. I mean, the fact that Joel is here, like just an hour away, you know, but I didn't want to bug him. He's not going to drive all the way up here anyway. So how many people do we have playing bingo?
I'm the only one playing. I mean, I'm not playing.
Well, it wouldn't be fair. I mean, it'd be fun for us to play, but it's not really fair because we can control what happens. You can be like, I just need 1 square, and then you just do whatever that square says.
But it might be fun to try to spin it into a win.
What, for yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what anybody else's card looks like. So I do have a couple more. In fact, I should probably jot them down while I'm thinking about them. And again, we're still open to suggestions. Anybody out there want to make suggestions for squares? The best way to do it is to email me. I think Glenn with 2 N's at funking3d.com. They laugh because that's a square.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a dynamic, organic thing because, you know, topics change. So.
Yeah, but there's certain things that come up like all the time.
Yeah,
so
that will forever.
And then there's some that like you might go weeks and not get whatever that square is.
That's not a bad idea. A 1.21 gigawatt square.
Uncle Ron, yes, actually it is.
Yes, it is a square. Yes.
Yeah, I have to start because like I was in church today waiting for the service to start, and all of a sudden I started thinking about some, and I'm like, oh, I should add those, and of course I didn't note them, so.
Has anybody in the chat or either of you two talked to this replay filament company? They had a card in the maker box or in the alien box or something. They're recycling. So the program is you buy a roll of filament, then you keep the box, you put all your scraps in it, and you ship the box back to them. Have you seen that?
I hadn't seen that.
Like, I'm trying to get a hold of them a couple of times.
Like skirts and if you
Yeah.
still print rafts,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. Not just like the extra 6 inches at the end of a roll.
Yeah, they say they'll take anything.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but I can't get a hold of them. I wanted to send them boxes and boxes of stuff that they could recycle.
Imagination Deformed says, someone else can use this recycled filament.
Chris was going to send them a bunch of benchies.
Yep.
That's the prize that you get today if you win bingo. You get a box of benchies.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you, I got some really cool ones for you. Okay, I've been benchy crazy this week. I'll cycle through my current highlight collection for you as the stream goes on. This benchy thing's really getting out of hand, and I said that. So
that's where benchies go to die.
Let's see.
Why is benchies not on the bingo card?
It is. It must just not be on yours. Right now we have about, I want to say it's like 35 or so possible squares, and the card only takes 25. So there are a few that you won't get when you generate your card. So.
Well, that's not fair. I want them all.
Well, too bad. It doesn't work that way.
You got to collect all the cards.
Which is impossible. I wonder how many, somebody who is like super mathematical, tell me if there's 35 possible squares, or if there's 35 items to go into 25 possible squares, how many cards would that give you?
Where's Luke when I need him?
Right.
That's one of those super maths. It's bingo, man. Got to catch them all. 35 times 25. I don't. Is that true though? Because some cards could be duplicates of others. Like some squares could be duplicates. So, like for instance, the FK1 square. There's a freebie for you. That could be on every card. I guess it would be on all but 10. Yeah, I don't know.
Math's hard.
It's stuff like that is. I mean, like general math I'm very good at, but that kind of stuff I can't do anymore.
Two squares. Bennett doesn't know. I don't.
Patrick Neanoff said, thanks, Glenn. That's two.
Yeah. So anything exciting happened this week? I really can't think of anything more exciting than last week. Haven't seen anything super awesome. I saw that the Explorer Maker Box was a steal. Is that just for today?
Yeah. 50% off your first month's box today only.
Wow.
Apparently they had gotten an overstock of filaments. So this month's box is a discount, or today it's a discount, your first month's box, but it has to be a new subscription. You can't like cancel your subscription and sign up for a new one unless you can fake all your information, which I don't advise that.
Sergio, I did get the springs, and I got something else from you this week. What was it? Oh, he sent me some. He had a bunch of Ultra Machine end stop switches that he sent me. Can always use a few more of those. What does that say? Overture filament? I've never heard of that.
Me neither. What is that?
Says on Amazon, $15. It's got to be the best. They're putting the numbers in, and it's holding them for review.
I wonder why.
Consecutive characters, I'm guessing. No, the Benchy trade file will not fit on the Prusa build plate. You will have to cut it up. It is like 325 by 400 or something. I will. I don't know if I left a note about that in the Thingiverse listing, but I will cut those up if you would like.
Okay, Pete C said, according to an online permutation calculator, 35 items taken 25 at a time with no repeats is, holy cow, 183,579,396 times. So, Walter, you go ahead and print all those cards out so that you have them all, okay?
I'm just going to make me a 35 square box or square card and put them all on it.
Well, it's funny because when I first made the card, instead of just spelling out bingo, I spelled FKB-ingo. And then went just 5 deep and realized that you couldn't get a perfect diagonal that way. And I thought, well, that's stupid. And I went back to just 5 by 5. OCD was not going to allow us to not have a perfect diagonal.
Oh, it's a rebrand of Amazon Basics. I gotcha.
Any winners of the FKB-ingo yet?
Can't imagine.
I can't either. I mean, we ain't hit maybe 3 of the friggin' keywords.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, I don't know when I hit the keywords. You do, so I would have to go back and rewatch the stream. It's like, yeah, you totally won that bingo game.
And you know, it's really funny is like some of them, like as I'm writing them in there, I'm giggling to myself because I am my own biggest fan. You know, I mean,
Believe you me, we know.
I think I'm hysterical.
Mad Mike's got it right. I'm just going to wait 25 minutes and yell bingo. That's exactly what I'd do.
No, you have to give us proof. We want to see pictures. I remember everything I say minute by minute, so I'll know if you're lying.
Yeah, that makes one of us. Hey, Zimmy. Zimmy is in the chat. This game seems rigged. Well, since you can't win anything, it certainly is.
Absolutely. Man, come on, really?
So what? Give us a play-by-play status, Walter. What are you working on now?
Well, I put the plastic one back on it, and I turned it over and tightened it down, and it seems more sturdy now.
There's another box for some y'all.
But I got the smallest friggin' wire ties they had at Harbor Freight, and they still won't fit to hold the Y carriage things down.
Yeah, they're too wide.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
Huh.
You got to get the ones from Monoprice.
So now I've got to see if I can dig up 2 more narrow wire ties.
I got some right here. You want them?
Shut up, Glenn.
Come get them.
Well, that wasn't very nice. You want them? Shut up.
And then one of the
a nice guy, and then
one of the ones that I friggin' using, it friggin' broke.
the ones from Harbor Freight.
No, the one that came from Prusa. I wonder if I drilled a hole out, will it work? You think if I snip all the way down the side of the wire tie and make it thinner, it'll work?
Yeah, a little sandpaper. How far is it off?
Oh, 0.5.
Yeah, just take a little sandpaper to it.
Fun in the Country outhouse. That was kind of a funny day. I was struggling with ABS or something, and I was also at the same time complaining about how hot it was. And then I thought, hey, it's hot outside. I should just go print all my ABS out back. And so I did.
Well, that was my plan. If I ever have to print ABSs, I'm just going to take it out to the big garage, which is like an oven.
Yeah, it worked great. It was like 33, 34 degrees out there. So.
Patrick Nienhoff, 5 in a row, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally.
Almost.
It's still, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'll be doing an Amazon return for a Y carriage. Or I could just keep it until I build the Mark III Bear. Because I'm going to need it to mount that other bed.
Yeah, every time I printed some, and I can't show you what they are because it's for an upcoming surprise, which is going to be hysterical. I was printing some PETG yesterday or the day before, and I go over to the Prusa, heat it up, clear the nozzle, hit the print, and away it runs. And I think to myself, I need another one of these. That thing is just so rock solid. And the one thing that stops me from printing the most is having to change filaments. Like, that's so tedious, having to change the filament. And if you're going from like PETG to PLA, it's like, oh. So I need another Prusa just for PLA. And then I would be better.
Agreed. And
I'm looking for a profile, and maybe some people in the audience can spoon feed me because I love that. That's a square. I need a profile for the CR10S Pro. Or at least I know that Tiny Machines makes a firmware for it. Is it worth doing it? So.
Video on manual mesh leveling. I have never done a video on manual mesh. I really don't find it very useful, so I never did a video on it. So no, I don't have one. There has to be one out there.
What is the difference with manual mesh leveling versus auto mesh leveling?
One's automatic, the other one you do manually.
Well, there's one it will take you to different spots, and you can still set an offset, I believe. You can still use an offset even though you don't have a probe, like offset from.
So you like physically move the nozzle to a point and get it set, and then set the offset for that particular point on the board.
Yeah, and then there's one that if you have the full graphic screen, you can actually enable the overlay, so it will show you what spot has what number. I've messed with it a long time ago, and it didn't really seem worth it. So
no, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. Asking questions. You can ask as many questions as you like. That's what we're here for.
That's what Chris is here for.
I will field as many as I possibly can in a 2-hour allotment.
Zimmy said, "Don't change anything anymore. It works well." Are we talking about the CR10S Pro? It does print magnificently. The problem is it the profile that it came with is for like the old Kira, which I don't know why they still do that. Like, what is the like 14 or 16 or whatever that they include with them? I mean, it prints beautifully, but I guess I could pick the start G code and NG code out of the model that they sent to get for the auto bed leveling and stuff. Imagination Deformed said his CR10S Pro is such crap. That's sad. Mine prints beautifully. I mean, this thing is And this is just like cheap CC tree PLA. Isn't he cute?
Bennett, I don't know how you're going to beat a Prusa for the price, but I understand that a lot of STEM programs won't buy anything that's from overseas. I don't know that for a fact, but
I think he just hooked you for a free spot on the bingo board.
I hope he did because he's
I do believe one of the squares is recommending a Prusa.
That's awesome. Can pallets be used for more than one spool after another? Yes, they can. I do that on the FT6.
The FK1?
Yeah. Because I always have just partial spools. So if it's that giant benchy was 4 separate spools. So yes, you can. I'm trying to use Cura with my. You have more than one pulse. Oh, from Matter Hackers, yeah. It's printing, but the Z offset is high. I've been unable to lower it. Any suggestions? So more than likely, your Z offset is being recorded in EEPROM. So I would refresh EEPROM, or at least take a look at it. Run M503. It's going to be It's going to be M851. You're looking for that setting. That's your offset. So
if the offset is set in the EEPROM, can you override it with start G code?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I didn't know which one would take precedence.
Yeah, you just can't override it with a flash. You have to redo the EEPROM if you flash the firmware.
Man, Mike said just download Chuck from Filament Friday's Cura profile. And when I read that, I seen just downloaded Chuck, and I'm like, you downloaded Chuck?
What'd that cost?
I hear you.
Think of the bandwidth.
Well, let me tell you, I heard from a little birdie that a certain member of this group, or that of our friends on here, is going to some place in Missouri next week. So the first thing I mentioned was that he'd look you up.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that has already been arranged.
It has.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, that should hopefully all that's all set. I know Ricky's had some excitement the last couple of days here, but hopefully that's still all set. That should happen sometime this week.
Yeah, they put it out there that he was going to visit Kansas City, and I was like, dude, you got to look Chris up. And his wife piped back, he is. I'm like, sweet.
What issues are you going to run into running a Raspberry Pi Zero on all 4 of your INC Rambos? Nothing. They work great. They're slow. Don't expect a lot of resolutions from a webcam or anything because it will cause stutter, but I think they work just fine.
Yuki treats? Ucky treats? What's the G code to override the Z offset setting? I know that some of the slicers have a spot where you can just put it in. I can't remember what the G code command is for it.
It's M851 and then Z whatever your offset is.
There you go. Chris would always know.
I mess with that one quite often.
Does anyone ever get out of Chris Riley's basement? Nope. It's a one-way trip. Down the stairs, and that's where you stay.
Once you enter, you never leave.
You can check out, but you can never leave.
That's right. I'm going to dig the CTC out. I have worked on it recently. I haven't in the last 2 weeks or so, but I've almost got that one figured out, I think.
I thought it was more like 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Break a deal, spin the wheel.
There you go.
I have not put together a sign widener yet because I have had 0 time to do so, but we will do that soon, I promise.
And Chris swears up and down he doesn't watch TV much.
Oh, if it's Mad Max, I'm all over it. It has a built-in thing where you have 5 points. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean that's the manual mesh where it sends it around, but manual mesh remembers the value, and you can save it. You can save that mesh. I don't know if that's how that one works or not. I'm way behind on chat. I'm gonna have to skip to the.
It's very active today. I'm watching. It's moving.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't even looked up to it, so trying to get this belt back on here. See if I can get one of this printer that I've got here to home.
3D Jimmy says in Walter's trailer, 2 printers enter, but only 1 prints.
That's correct.
Uh,
I don't know if that's going to be tight enough or not.
Second language is G code.
have a good one, Ricky. Sorry to hear about your puppy.
Later, Ricky. What? What happened to Joey?
He got attacked by 2 dogs that were running the neighborhood.
How is he? No. Man. I like Joey the dog.
Joey is a cool dog. Hopefully he'll be okay. Calibrating IR sensor on the Mark 3S MMU2S, the one with a little hat on it. I do mine with the smallest hex wrench that comes with the kit. So loosen those top 2 screws, push it all the way to the left, and then slide that key in there, and then push it to the right until there's a sensor info thing on the screen. Bring up the sensor info and then slide it to the right until it triggers, and then tighten it down. That's where I'm happiest with that. I haven't looked recently. Gustner might know, but they might. There might be some updated parts for that thing. I know that they were updating a few of the extruded parts. I don't know if they're out there yet, though.
Well, Ricky, I hope everything works out with that, man. That's sad. I'm sad to hear that.
Got my handy fly swatter. I've been gunning for this guy all day.
Did you get him?
I did.
The funny part is the fly swatter hits the table, and then like a split second later, you're like, I got him. And it's like, no, you didn't.
Well, that's the anticipation.
Question for the room. CR10 support rods. What is the diameter of the rods and their length?
You mean like the gantry support rods that people add on there? Or is there a CR10 that has that now or something?
No, because the CR10 uses the extrusion, so it's got to be the ones that the people are adding.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if that actually does anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the only reason I say that, I haven't used my CR10 enough to know, and I haven't printed anything tall. Well, that's not true. I printed a big base, but
if Sergio's on here, I think he runs those rods. He'd know what diameter they were. eSun Black PETG. I haven't had eSun filament in years, so I don't know the current status on eSun, but I don't recall it being bad.
I don't think I've ever printed eSun's PETG, but I know that IC3D's PETG prints fantastically.
It is my favorite PETG. Is that a square?
That's not particularly a square, I don't think, but anytime I can slide a little. Oh, yeah, there is actually a square for shameless plug.
Yeah. Sergio, what diameter are the support rods for your CR10? That's what Jimmy was wanting to know. Cool split screen. Yeah, I like this setup. Does it work?
Old curmudgeon. Are you looking for the name of IC3D? Is that here?
But now I need to run the auto mesh bed leveling and see if that'll work.
I'm thinking about like making a hat out of a couple of these boxes, or a helmet or something. This one has a love note on it from Sean.
See you later, Freddie. Why aren't deltas more popular?
Because their bed's round. That's weird.
Squares are better.
Right. There's more print volume on a square bed. I don't know. I've just never had the opportunity to play with a delta. So
Yeah, the add-on support rods. Yeah, I don't know. Deltas are cool. I like them okay, but there's some downsides to it. Deltas, there's a lot bigger gap with deltas in price wise. So if you want to do delta right, you got to spend some money. So really you need to go up to something like a CME CNC or somebody that made it that really knows how to tune it in and get it level and do everything properly, because the cheaper ones are really fiddly. You have to the leveling, even if you do it manual or automated leveling, is a pain. It's a whole different way of thinking about how to configure the firmware. It's just kind of, I don't know. The standard Cartesian is so much easier. Yeah, John Strand, Anycubic Costal. I've got one of those, and they print fine, but there's some fiddling around you got to do to get it to. It's the concave convex effect of the part that causes all the problems. And with something like an Anycubic Costal, it's going to have enough slop in it that you're never going to be able to get it all out. You can get most of it, but it's going to be fiddly. Yes, they are. It's very much. They are cycle intensive. Trying to translate over to that delta motion. You don't necessarily need a 32-bit controller, but if you want to print very fast, yeah, you're going to introduce stutter because it can't process it that quick. See you later, Zimmy. So should I send it back? Well, you're going to learn a lot, John. I always say that to people, and that's like shooting yourself in the foot. But, well, you'll learn a lot from this experience.
Now I'm trying to do auto bed leveling, and that's not working.
Upgrades on the CTC. Well, mine just barely prints. I mean, like out of the box, it just barely prints. And it was because of the extruder stepper motors don't have enough current to keep them from skipping. So the first thing I did was I added a part cooling fan because it has no part cooling. And there's one of those out on Thingiverse. But then second, I bought a set of A4988 drivers, and I flipped them over and soldered them upside down, and then used those to upgrade the board so that I could get enough torque on the extruder steppers for them to work. Now, with all that said, be extremely careful if you do that, because one, you have to get the soldering just right, but two, you're going to increase the heat that those motors put out. I don't know what size they are. I want to say they're like less than 30 millimeters in height, and they get really hot when you crank that much juice on them.
Elf Pimp said he jinxed my bed leveling.
Michael Fox said I get a lot of Z-wobble the taller my print gets, which makes sense, but I would think that Z-wobble is going to come this way, not this way. Because you're not moving anything this way, except for the bed. Well, I guess the bed could cause that. Yeah.
That's one of the biggest the bigger problems on the CR10 model. The CR10 actually not so much. It's not real bad, but it still does have a glass sheet on it, so that bed is really heavy. But like the TiVo Tornado is way too heavy. There's no way that bed should have been that heavy. But so, I mean, I guess you could see some wobble like that back and forth.
Bed leveling.
Is it working?
It bed leveled.
So is this piece of firmware?
This is the firmware that I recompiled after you said get a fresh copy.
Okay.
That is exactly what this is.
Okay.
I'm having an issue here with this wire tie not holding the nylon tight enough, so I'm going to have to try again. Maybe I can get one of these in there. I don't know. Yeah, see, these will go around it. The other ones would not.
Go Team Walter.
I hear you. I am excited. I'm glad it works, man. I'm about tired of working on this thing. That's for sure. And I bought 3 new motors, and guess which one I used?
One?
The one that was on it.
Ah.
I haven't replaced anything.
So what was the difference?
Nothing. I didn't do anything. That's what I'm saying. I did nothing. It just decided to start working. So I'm not going to, punch a gift horse in the mouth. That's for sure.
John Strand said, so is Walter going to print a benchy tonight? Sean Butler said, does Walter even benchy?
I am going to try to print something. I am not going to say what because I do not know yet. But first, I have to get this wire tie through here. Get this nylon down here so it gets wire tied. You I don't care about. Get out of the way so I can get the nylon down in there.
Stargate parts.
Yeah, right?
Oh, the wobble Michael Fox is getting is on a Delta.
Oh.
It's above 200 high, which that would make sense. I mean, if it's not built solid, I could see that.
On a Delta, it's hard. It's harder to diagnose on a Delta because of all the different measurements that you're changing as you get higher, right? So your
kinematics changes the entire time you're going up, right?
Exactly. So it's a lot of it. So even if it's not square, definitely, right? I mean, the Delta is the triangle pattern. If that's not square, if it was a little wider at the top, but then you also have is the extrusion consistent on the cheaper printers? It could be a touch off, and if it's the wheels rolling on that extrusion, that I don't even remember what they call it now, but the carriage that has the wheels on it could just have just a little bit of extra in it, causing.
Well, and even if the way it's built, if it's got a little twist in the frame coming up,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just the smallest thing could affect it. And that's what I'm saying. It seems like you go from $200 to $2,500, and that's kind of it. There is the TiVo Little Monster, but I don't think anybody's going to recommend that.
Well, I will if you immediately upgrade electronics and that type of thing. I will highly recommend it. Actually,
that's one thing I had to say about that machine. Man, they built it and they overbuilt it, I think.
You talking about the TiVo?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a tank, man. It really is. And once you get the electronics squared away on it, I can see it being, top-notch machine, but it does take a minute to get that all squared away.
Yeah. Effector. Is that right?
Well, effector's the carriage that holds the hot end. I don't remember what they call the wheels, the wheel piece that holds the wheel on the rail. I don't remember. Wheel holder thing.
The wheel holder thing? Yeah, I think that's what it's called in the manual.
First thing Ian noticed was Walter looks really well. Yeah, Walter's stream quality has really improved.
Has it?
I think over the months it has.
Well, I think I got my antennas about as good as they're going to get outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a struggle. I mean, it really is. Don't get me wrong. If it rains or gets cloudy or the wind blows a limb in the way, then my stream quality is probably going to go down some. Question: Prusa slicer for the MK2, does it have a built-in thing for it? Let me look right here. Did I add it? I think you have to add it, right?
Yeah, you can add it from the wizard if you want.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that. Let me go back to Platter.
Harry.
You are very welcome for the videos, outgoing bots. I am glad they help.
Carl said he's impressed with his CR10S Pro so far. And what, Carl, what slicer and what profile are you using? I haven't touched Kira in so long that I don't know if I could. Like, I'd have to go back in and relearn the whole thing.
That would be a good square. Do we have a windmill square?
Patrick nailed it. He goes, I bet Glenn just wrote down windmill. And that's exactly what that is exactly what I wrote down.
Windmill.
Is it Jimmy or Hemi? Sanchez said hello from NASA. If you're
Hello.
NASA, that's cool.
I want to come to NASA. Hanging around the old guys too long. You bet. I watched The Martian today, in fact. Well, like bits and pieces of it. So now I really want to go to NASA. I don't want to get stuck on Mars, though. That looks scary. Hello from Pluto. Oh
yeah. I guess saying hello from NASA could be like, that's pretty vague. It could be here in Florida. It could be in Texas. It could be in California. It could be on the International Space Station.
I can't see chat right now. Y'all are cheating. Real quick, Chris, I'm gonna have to redo the firmware because my Z motor is backward, or my E motor is backwards right now.
Are you using a JST connector, or can you flip it?
I believe it's I don't know. I'm just gonna do it in firmware. Configuration, Prusa.
Alabama, NASA 2, Maryland 2. Yeah, I suppose they're everywhere. The only one that really, truly counts, though, is the one here, Florida, Cape Canaveral. I mean, I guess it's, I guess Texas is important, too. But
Hello, Ken. Yeah, if I get stuck on Mars, they better pack all the extra spray cheese. I'm going to need it.
Oh, man.
We're in Iceland testing some Mars stuff. Yeah, they still shoot rockets from here. Well, NASA doesn't. SpaceX does.
Yeah, SpaceX.
Elon Musk does.
Yeah, Falcon Heavy just, what was that, 3-4 months ago?
Yep.
Yeah, we get them. We get rockets quite often.
See, Mark Powell wants that southern draw for Uranus, but he's just not going to get it.
So there is a Dilbert cartoon. Y'all are familiar with Dilbert, yes?
Yes.
Old comic from Dilbert, and in there they make reference to a website of Uranus, the planet, hertz like frequency.com. And so I'm like, I got to see what's on that. It was available. I bought it. I have owned Uranus Hertz for a long time. It used to be a site where you could go and just complain about things that you were butthurt about. But I don't even know. I'd have to look to see if it's forwarding to something right now.
My favorite Dilbert cartoon of all time. And I've probably said this before, but it's still hanging on the wall of my cube. And it's just, the traditional 3 pictures, and it's him and the dog makes a cell phone app. And he says, yeah, it makes a funny noise. And Dilbert says, oh, cool. And he shows it to one of his coworkers. And the coworker turns on the app, and the app blows his head off, clean off. And Dilbert goes back to the dog and says, I thought you said it made a funny noise. He says, I'll bet it did. I absolutely love that one.
I was more into the Far Side than Dilbert.
Oh, I love Far Side.
So, I'll tell you what, Maker Kid, I can help you out. It's freaking hot in here today. That was your square.
So, to my dismay, Uranus Hertz does not point towards anything. So now I have to make the decision: do I point it towards funking3d.com or towards peglegpaul.com?
Yeah, no, wait, peglegpaul.com and Uranus Hertz wouldn't go well together.
Well, fartgenerator.com forwards to it.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Power tip split. Well, whoever's channel we're on that week steals all the money and doesn't tell anybody about it. No, all the tips on my side, I buy these guys dinner with. Eventually.
And all the tips on my side, I send Chris a gumball because that's No, we don't worry about it. If you guys are worried about how it gets split, we don't have any animosity between the 3 of us. We all know that Chris is better off than the rest of us anyway.
All of the sponsorships and things that we do, we split it 3 ways, so we're good to go.
Son of a buck.
John Strand votes for forwarding it to Peg Leg Paul.
So we got 10 by 10 at Earth, yeah?
Yeah.
So we definitely got to get us some carpet.
Yeah. So we'll discuss off air, but I've got a couple of ideas just to give us some boundaries, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Just because of the way that we're going to set up.
Right.
I don't want like the booths on either side of us flowing into us, so I have a couple ideas.
That's I think that's definitely the best way to do it, though. That's going to be so much better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you guys out there are gonna love. If you're coming to Earth, you're gonna love the way that we're gonna set up the booth, and you definitely got to come by and see us. Yeah, I also have an idea that I want to talk with you about, Chris, which will be a surprise for Walter. So I don't want to talk about it in front of Walter.
Excellent.
You will like it, Walter. You will like it, but I just don't want you to know that it's coming.
I got you.
I think it's pretty hilarious if it worked.
If it's even as close, even anywhere close to Robbie Mac's surprise last year, I will be happy. Dude, I'm still blown away. That was freaking awesome.
What was Robbie Mac's surprise?
Me sitting on my bobblehead on the toilet.
Oh yeah, no. It's not gonna be like that. It's just if I can pull it off, it'll be funny.
Booth needs basement walls. Yeah.
We'll bring in a load of block, start blocking them.
Oh, they'd love that.
Just slapping some concrete block down.
When is setup time for Earth? That's a great question. So I didn't get there till Saturday last year. Do they let you in on Friday, or is it all done Saturday morning?
No, Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get there until like 5 o'clock on Friday, and pretty much everybody was already set up by that point. But
we can talk about it off the stream about the setup time.
Why are we not supposed to say? I mean, I know that you got in trouble at Murph, but
yeah, I got in trouble at Murph. You're right. You're absolutely right. Oh, why? Prawn face? Are you disconnected? Yeah, you're not connected. What's going on?
There's Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hold on. Why
Yes,
is
there will be streams to be had from Earth. Well, I'll make sure we get out the links and all that good stuff.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cough into my mic.
I can't see the chat. I've got Arduino up on top of it. So, what is going on here? Close down.
3 deltas arranged to have a hang printer strung between them all, printing at once. There you go.
Yeah, I could just see that setup.
John Mack, I can't go to Maryland and eat barbecue. That's just not something that happens when you're from Kansas City.
Yeah. It's like me going up there and eating blue crabs. I'm like, why? That's what we have here.
I don't suggest that at all.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, they have great blue crabs in Maryland. There's no doubt about it.
Uh-huh.
But so do we.
Yeah.
So what is specific to Maryland other than their blue crabs?
Maryland, I don't know. I mean, I've been there quite a few times. I think it's crab. I mean, that's it. Crab, right?
Right? That would be my guess.
KC has pretty good barbecue, and it's pretty easy to get. You can walk down the street pretty much anywhere and get some barbecue.
Good. But is it all good barbecue? That's the question.
Not all of it.
Well, barbecue is such a subjective thing anyway. I mean,
it is. There are some things that people do to barbecue that makes me want to weep. I hate it when you get this barbecue that somebody smoked for like 14 hours or whatever, and the meat tastes really good, and then they just drown it in the sweetest barbecue sauce they can find. You might as well put ketchup on it.
Or when it's like so dry that even when you put sauce on it, you can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's so dry.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Tools, Rambo, Com6, upload. I don't know why this is not wanting to work.
Michael Cassell says, I have a partial bingo. Well, if you don't have a full bingo, then you don't have a bingo.
That's correct. And I don't guess mine was the square he needed a while ago.
Yeah, I'll have to work on the site so that we can pull it up, And of course, now I'm going to have to change the URL out as I'm developing it, but have a list for us to be able to see all of the possibilities.
Martin's got 2 boxes.
I'll throw out a bone.
There you go.
Hey everybody, I'm Walter here. I gotta have my vape.
Hey, you can't vape in the arena.
To anybody that's got the Walter Beard box, there you go.
We should get Alien 3D to send those out.
What's that?
Walter Beards.
Walter Beards.
That'd be great.
Have a country beard.
Yeah, we could 3D model it and 3D print it. We just have to figure out a way, like have it clip to your bottom lip or something.
Yeah. All right, let's preheat PLA again.
Old
Ryan,
Ryan. Vapes cause lung disease or something. There is something going on right now. There's like 10 people or something that have come down with something that they're saying is caused by vaping. It's not proven yet.
Every one of them smoked Juuls, though.
Yeah. So who knows?
Which is a completely different delivery system than what I'm using.
Yeah. Well, and it's also too early to really know. I heard they were talking about it on the radio, and the way that I took it, it sounds like something bad happened to somebody, and they were looking for somebody to blame. So
that doesn't happen in this day and age.
yeah. Mosquito Chopert. Should Z lead screws be loose on top, or should they be secured with something like a pillow block bearing? Okay, so this is a huge, and you guys can chime in, but this is a huge thing that's probably one of the biggest debates that I've ever seen since the day I started in 3D printing.
Yep.
And like on the A8, they used to make like caps and stuff for the top of your lead screws to make them stiff. If your smooth rods are perfectly straight and secure, your lead screws don't have to be connected at the top at all. And they will be exactly where you need them to be if your smooth rods are tight. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what you do. It's not going to be right. So,
well, and I've also heard that if you capture the top of your Z screws and there's any play in your Z screw at all, it can introduce wobble.
Or it could bind. Yeah.
Yeah, or bind. Yeah. So
everybody was printing these fixes on the A8 to secure the lead screws, and I ended up shimming my smooth rods with paper in the holes in the acrylic, and 100% difference, day and night difference by the lead screws being secure and straight, or the smooth rods. Then the lead screws, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be captured at the top.
Hey, question. It doesn't matter which direction I send my never mind. I'm being man, come on.
Alien 3D Josh said, spoiler alert, Halloween box is coming with a Kuntry 3D beard kit.
That should be the project. Build your own Kuntry 3D beard.
And all you get is a jar with a silk spider in it.
That's right.
So you got to wait for it to spin the web, and then you got to use the web to make the beard.
Man, I was sitting here changing the Z direction and wondering why my E wouldn't change directions.
You were doing what now?
I was changing the Z direction in the firmware, wondering why my extruder wasn't changing directions. I was fixing to ask that question. I go, oh, wait. Nope.
So what you're saying is that you were having an issue with your project?
Yeah.
That's a box.
No, that was absolutely between the keyboard and the chair. Which is most of my issue most of the time, but this was 100% of it. Yeah, the ID10T error. You are correct, Imagination to Form.
Print your own beard like a hairy lion. That would be awesome.
I printed a hairy mat from how I do it.
I don't know if the firmware will let you do that anymore, but for testing purposes, I would just use M92 with a negative if it was going the wrong direction. So like, if it was Z, I'd just make it negative 400. I don't know if Marlin allows you to do that anymore though.
Right. All right, well, let's see if the damn thing will extrude filament now. Let's preheat for PLA. Because I'm ready to print. I've got the test project on the slicer. I want to see if this thing will lay plastic. Then all I got to do is tidy up some wires.
Yeah, that's the part I always put off till later.
Yeah, well, and I've also got to figure out, because I need a Prusa or a Chinese power supply switch box for the bottom that'll mount like the Prusa Mark II. Because this thing uses the Prusa mounts in order to mount the power supply, and I don't have one.
What Oh, it's going to depend on the brand of power supply.
Well, I mean, it's the cheap Chinese ones. They're all pretty much identical.
Well, the screw holes don't always line up. I'm going to see if I can get my detail
But I-
camera over and I'll show you how I did.
Well, I've got one on here, Glenn.
Hopefully this doesn't make everybody sick as I wing this around, but can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so dark, but I just made brackets to come off of the frame. I don't know why that camera's so dark.
And I might do that too on the back. Just build something to hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I forget what brand of power supply that was, but it wasn't ANET's power supply.
Hey, I'm getting filament, but my nozzle is right against the damn bed, so I'm not gonna get nothing.
Darn bed.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a family-friendly show.
That one.
Yeah, I ended up actually. I think all 3DP. I don't remember what the place was. I got one of those power supplies that came on the Mark II, and they were kind of pricey to get the same bolt pattern.
Michael Fox said, "I'm getting ready to start my second bear build. Think I might get it working before Walter."
Heck, we worked on that thing, what, over 2 hours the other night.
Yeah, we did. Why now?
Carl said, "Oh, for a minute I thought he was showing us the FK almost one." No, she's still sitting over here. Why this camera is so dark?
So Duet has a cool sensor out now. I'm not exactly sure how it works or if it's available. I know they're either getting ready to put it out or they just put it out. But it's supposed to do all the same stuff that Prusa does, that Prusa was to do with that original optical sensor. So it's supposed to detect jams, and it keeps stats on how fast it's coming through and all that good stuff. But it's going to be an add-on for all the Duet 2 and up boards.
Neat.
It's $55 just for the sensor. But
dang,
yeah, if you had a really high-end machine and you wanted something like that, that'd be pretty cool.
It's gonna be how much?
$55, I think.
I thought you said $250. I'm like,
no, not quite that bad. Yeah, Carl, I don't know if you saw that or not. Yeah, I was looking at it the other day. It looks pretty neat. We'll see.
Carl said, I messed it up so bad Chris couldn't fix it in 2 hours. Well, the thing about it is I got a fresh copy of the firmware, recompiled it, and it worked fine. So something apparently had in the compilation, because I hadn't really changed anything. You got another fly?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need a water.
Got it too.
Good for you.
there's something going on with the camera, but
Carl's got 2 of them to test. Nice. Let us know how they work. What would we like to see on the Mark IV?
how it sits on the bench behind me.
I don't know. Working on the 3D bench cheese. Yep. I don't think that's going to happen. Cheese extrusion. Yes.
You know what you should do, Chris?
What's
You
that?
should print a benchy big enough that you can put a Core XY in the cabin.
That totally reminds me of it. I have a great idea I had the other day, and I forgot about it until right now. I need to make a benchy that the wheelhouse is a bottle opener.
Dang,
I mean,
Jimmy Sanchez,
That just makes sense.
you looking at chat?
Jimmy Sanchez throwing down $49.99 for you there, Chris.
Whoa. Jimmy, man, that is officially the biggest tip I've ever gotten. Thank you very much.
And now he's leaving.
What's that?
Now he's leaving. Says his wife needs help bringing in the groceries.
Well, you're a good man.
Thank you, Jimmy Sanchez, for being here, brother.
NASA pays. There you go. Thank you. Wow. Now I'm not even sure what to do with myself.
You guys like a up the nose shot here for a minute.
Yeah, I definitely think I need to retool the Benchy as a bottle opener. Oh,
That'd be kind of cool.
I'm going to get on that. The Benchy is actually really hard to work with, I've found. I've tried to turn it into other things. If you want to work with the actual model, to bring it into Fusion, you actually have to bring it down quite a bit, the resolution down, if you want to work with that.
Try it again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Ryan. Just like there are I've printed quite a few of the 3D printed bottle openers, but that's what they always do. They hold captive a coin of some kind. That's definitely the easiest way to get that done. And then, if you get hungry, you can just steal the quarters out of it and buy some bag of chips or something. Yeah, they get better than McDonald's. We can go to Wendy's. The Benchy Regatta. No.
A Benchy Regatta.
Just got here. Looks like nobody's doing anything. Good times.
What do you mean nobody? I've been working on this bear the whole time.
Walter's working so hard. We're both just watching him just to make sure everything's going okay. We're rooting him on. It takes two of us to watch because he's working so hard.
I am so wow.
Or if you find yourself at Aldi and need a cart. Exactly.
All right, so I know that we're late in the stream, but here's the link to the FKB Ingo cards again, just in case for those who have joined that want to play.
It's got the homing down, but the bed leveling is just.
I think a large Benchy wine bottle holder would be a sought-after item. Oh, you got to turn it into a what is that? What is that called? My grandfather had like cars and stuff that had alcohol bottles in them. What are those called? It'll come to me. I'm not a drinker.
Cut the mesh into sections, convert it to VREF, and then reassemble. I wouldn't have even thought of that, Tony. That's a good idea. I usually end up just reducing it down to like 20,000 polygons or whatever, and that does the trick. Booze cruiser. Decanter.
Decanter. That's the word I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had they were like old 1920 style automobiles and stuff. Now, I thought they were toys and I always wanted to play with them. And he's like, no, don't touch those.
Offshore Benchy racing. There you go.
All right, let's try a first layer calibration.
So I'm about to open my bingo card. All I need is an overhead cam. Guess you should pay attention.
You weren't watching close enough.
I can't see chat again.
I don't know if those CAD files are available. I'm guessing they are not. I don't know. I've never seen them.
No. Robot Hut, I wouldn't say anything about it, man. I haven't been looking at chat hardly the whole time, so.
No, Walter's ignoring the people. He doesn't care about you guys. He only cares about his own projects.
That's right. You are exactly right, Glenn. You hit that one on the head. So I'm finally getting to print with the CPE that Filamentum sent me. And it prints like a champ. Except for right now, I'm getting globs every now and again on the daggum print, which is stupid because...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, if it was easy enough for me to just bother Daniel to get the files, yes, I would totally have them by now. But he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any rights to those files.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that he would have access to them.
Yeah. What are you talking about? The Benchy files?
Yeah,
the original,
like the CAD files.
Yeah, he designed it, but he designed it for somebody, for the company he worked for.
Yeah. What's on the bottom?
Yeah, I don't remember what that company's called.
Whatever that is on the bottom, that's the name of the company.
It's like 3D XYZ or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's CT 3D XYZ.
Yeah, CT 3D XYZ. So I need something spectacular to print that needs to be printed in a really great red. So if anybody's got any ideas. 3D Fuel sent me this cool red, and I guess now they have another red that they're trying to name that's even more red than this one. This is the fire engine red, and it is very, very red.
Hey, this is one of the same problems I had before. That this was doing the G code that I just sliced, sent to it. It went through bed leveling, got to the top left corner, and then died. It just nothing went to 0 on the temperatures, and nothing. And that was on the
a fire engine
Z calibration.
John Strand suggested a fire engine with my fire engine red filament. Maybe a fire hydrant.
I was just getting ready to say fire hydrant.
Maybe I'll print a little mini fire hydrant.
You could print a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, but then I could confuse it for my real one, and then I'd be in all kinds of trouble.
Was it on The Simpsons where they kept there was a fire and he pulled out the joke fire extinguisher and it had confetti in it?
Mr. Buttram, I didn't know you designed a hydrant. Feed me a link, man.
Elf Pimp asked me, do I have the wires or slicer settings reversed? This is on the Auto Z calibration that's built into the firmware. This is nothing I sliced.
Roy Hawley, IC3D has not officially named their yellow PETG to be Fun King 3D Yellow PETG. So anytime you order from them, you just let them know that that's what it needs to be named. A big red crayon. I understand it's on Thingiverse. Spoon feed me. That's a square, by the way.
John asked if there was a place you could go to learn about G-code. G-code's kind of tricky to learn because G-code is G-code. I mean, you can learn a lot of the simple stuff, the basics, G1, G2, G3, the easy stuff, G4. But then every company usually, or every firmware brand usually puts something on top of it that makes it unique. I can send you the link to, I think there's a G-code wiki or something out there that tells you all the different firmware versions and if they accept that command. But mostly it's just trial and error. Open up Notepad, start line by line. James Cameron is here. What's the Piranha 2? Didn't James Cameron direct Piranha 2?
Brother James in the house.
Hello, Paul Cumber.
Your arm has to come in.
All right, now let me ask you this. All right, I just sliced with the Prusa slicer, and I went to print, and it said there's a new firmware available, 3.7.2. Does that also work on the 2.5s?
I don't know. That's the last version available for a Mark II. I'm not sure what going forward. I'm not sure what they did with the 2.5.
Well, the 3.7.2 is the combined. It's the 3, the 2.5, and the 3S. It's all of them, I think.
Oh, I'd have to go look. Yeah, I don't know.
Let me go back out to GitHub and see if there's a newer version.
Jimmy says 3.7.2 works on 2.5.
So can I download and compile just the latest one? For the MK3? All right, here's MK3 3.7.2.
Few weeks away from getting your own Mark III's. That's true. If you don't get one soon, we can't be friends.
Who's that? What?
James is saving up for a Mark III.
Awesome.
He asked me if he should get one, and I told him that if he didn't get one, we could no longer speak to one another. So if he doesn't have one by the time he gets to Earth, and you see me looking at him but not speaking to him, just standing real close, just staring at him, that's why.
You'll understand why, right?
Yeah, it's because he's not a Prusa owner. And I just wherever he is, I'm gonna look James straight in the eye, and then I'm gonna point directly at Joe Prusa. This is why, James.
All right, let's go see.
So that's why we're not friends.
I really want this thing off my desk.
Tony said no need to compile, download from Prusa and flash through Prusa Slicer.
Can't. My motors run backwards.
So why not swap the wires?
And I have a different LCD.
Why not get the right LCD?
Got a question though. How do you know if you got a Rambo 10A or a 13A?
1.0 is quite a bit different. It's 95% chance you have a 1.3.
Okay.
I don't know if it's SEMO or SIMO, but I'm about to order one to build while I'm off work recovering from surgery. But at $1,400 delivered to Australia, it's going to hurt more than the surgery. Ow. Thank you.
All right. So I had to do the configuration Prusa file.
Triangle lamps, Prusa. Funny you should mention that. Happy Extruder Ron. I was talking to him about something about Triangle Labs. I need to follow up with him and see how that went down.
Thanks to Tristan, I have one of their Mark 52s in my possession.
There you go, John Strand. Yeah, 1.0 doesn't have the LCD headers, Walter.
Okay.
So you have a 1.3.
Okay.
Yes, Patrick. My wife is amazing. That's a square.
I got to look at these settings. 1 is true, 0 is false. Let's look at what I've got set here. I have true, false, false. That's what I need for that. Now let's build it and see if that'll build.
Hey, Chris Riley, on the Duet 3D, if I wanted to trigger auto load of filament based on the sensor opening or closing, what code is generated when the sensor closes?
Yeah, on a Duet, especially on the later firmware releases, I think they have a dedicated configuration file so you can issue whatever code you want based on that sensor. Actually, Carl might know that better. Carl Brown might know that better than me right at the moment. He said he was testing some of those sensors. I would have to go look it up, but I think you can trigger any code you want if you have it in that file or you generate that file.
Yeah, you can write a macro for it.
Yeah.
Matt Mike 8 said, I made my own bingo card and still can't win.
You know, that 3.7.2 compiled without changing any code. No language, no nothing.
Huh.
Other than the directions of the motors.
Oh, 3.7, it just went ahead and compiled, huh?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Because I was waiting on it.
Matt said there should be a square every time Walter makes up excuses.
I'm not making up excuses for anything.
Walter, the only thing on that language, the screen might be scrambled if you don't set it one way or the other.
Yeah, I didn't. The thing is, I didn't even. It wasn't it in config.h.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, there's like 50 lines in there, and none of them have to do with language.
Huh, yeah, I'll be curious what it does when it comes up. That I don't know what versions did that, or if all of them do that when it asks you what language you want to put it in, but that doesn't work on some of those screens. So it's going to be in check. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It is in language mode 1. You're right. It's down there, language, multi-language support.
Yeah.
Oh, and this just says it supports secondary language if it's a 1. So we'll see. It's uploading. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to have to re-upload that because I got a bunch of funky characters.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
What's the newest firmware that'll work on a G-Tech Pro B? Oh, I almost got him. In fact, you can run any Marlin version. G-Tech Pro B's run on Marlin. All the G-Tech Pro stuff does. In fact, the newer version that you get, the more features you're going to have for that board. All those boards should come with a GT2560. And if it's a Rev B, B plus, Rev B plus, it has a spot for a BL touch sensor. So, yeah, I would go straight to 1.1.9 for now.
Huh. Chris would, in fact, hurt a fly.
I would, in fact, hurt a fly. That's my only exception.
Patrick Nienhoff says he only needs one more square, and apparently it all hangs on me.
Get 3 flies into hat trick. That's right.
Well, Patrick, is it the one where I'm not wearing a Fun King shirt? I can just... I am going to admit, though, I think this is the first time that I've ever streamed barefoot. I have this thing where I always have to at least be wearing socks while I stream, and I have no idea why, but today I didn't put socks on. So.
Hey, I've told y'all several times about the lady that my wife and I watched that does the product reviews from like the dollar store and stuff.
Right.
The other day she backed up and she goes, "Oh, y'all can't say." "Oh, yes, you can." She didn't have on no clothes. I mean, she had her shirt on, right? But she didn't have nothing on bottom, and she quickly pulled her shirt down.
Yeah, accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she backed up slowly, going, "I don't think y'all be able to see." "Oh, yes, you can," and she quickly covered that up.
Yeah. Well, let me go to the underdesk cam, and you can see. No.
Yeah, right.
Socks are more professional.
Everywhere else.
Socks are more professional than bare feet.
It's true. I don't know.
Yeah, when I compiled 3.7.2, it came up and said the MK 2.5 is ready. Didn't give me any errors or anything else. I don't know why I can't use the hex for this printer.
I don't know either. What did it do?
Well, the screen just has bars on it.
Oh, that's right.
Nothing else. But I'm compiling what they say is the code. So Glenn, I'm I'm going to ask you, Glenn. Did you get to watch that game or what they called the game last night?
No, because I don't have ESPN.
Oh,
and I haven't figured out a way around that without actually having to upgrade my cable, and I don't want to upgrade my cable. So,
well, there is a way around it, but it's not reliable. So that's why I pay the $44 for what I have as a subscription.
yeah. I don't know. Had it been on Local 6 or whatever, I'd have been fine because I get that.
Stephen Chris said that, but why would it work in the compiled version versus the hex if you have to flip the cables on the hex version? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Yeah, we did talk about that, but it does. I've tried that before, and it didn't even work at all then. But with when I compile this, it just works right out of the box. So it just makes no sense whatsoever to me. We did try it. That's what I'm saying, Elfpin, but it just doesn't even power the display that way. ESPN will be an add-on for Disney Plus.
But it's an add-on. It's an add-on for my cable. I mean,
right.
And I don't watch enough sports. The only thing I watch is Gators football. So I don't want to pay monthly for a channel that I have no desire to watch. Right. I think ESPN's a pile of junk anyway.
Yeah, so apparently I remember helping on something like that, but I don't remember it being a screen or anything like that. But that's if it's been more than a week, I don't remember. At some point, so I still answer all the comments. Every comment on a YouTube video, unless I delete them. I will delete comments if they're a little abrasive. But that normally doesn't happen. But I still answer every one of the comments, and I answer all of my emails that come in. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm spending 3 and 4 hours a day answering these things. So at some point, I won't be able to keep up with all of them. But I don't know really the best way around that. I don't know how Tom and Joel and all these guys handle it.
And you have to get a producer. But honestly, I don't necessarily reply to every one of them, but I always try to acknowledge them either with the thumbs up or, whatever. Even the ones where they're a little bit derogatory, I'll still give them a reply. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, if they're blatantly rude, then no, they go away. But no, at least, some type of thumbs up. But I couldn't take the time to reply to every one of them. So
I can run through them pretty fast, but it still takes a lot of time.
It's laying plastic, by the way.
Excellent. Mad Mike, yours are my favorite. I want to reply to my favorite ones.
I'm going to check it here in just a second. I may run this first layer calibration again.
It only took 3 tries to get my Thingiverse to actually log in.
Seems like every time I upload something to Thingiverse goes away for the next 4 hours.
Yeah, I have to find the fire hydrant by Mr. Buttram because he won't give me a spoon-fed link. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them on here. Wonder what the obsession is with people designing fire hydrants.
Sean Butler, I won't believe it's printing until I see an overhead shot.
Right, I hear you. And right now, I'm going to tell you, even though it's me sitting here watching it, I'm going to tell you I can't blame you because this thing has been a headache.
No, he's trying to hit you for an overhead shot because he needs one for his bingo card.
Oh.
Oh, you did send me the link, Martin? I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Scroll back, see if I can find it. I got it.
I was really hoping Cheese Printer would be a spotlight on the Thingiverse front page. I mean, who doesn't need one of those?
What's that?
I uploaded all the files. Somebody asked for the files to build to convert their Prusa into a cheese printer. So
Oh, dude, it's got to hit the front page. Who is it that does the Thingiverse collections? It's somebody that we know.
Oh yeah,
but I can't remember who it is now. But thank you, Martin, for spoon feeding me. That's a pretty fancy hydrant. It's a screw top lid. You can actually use it for storage, and it doesn't require supports.
nice.
That's exciting. That's what I'm going to print out of my fire engine red 3D fuel. And then I'll tell you how great 3D fuel is after I do that. And then if it works out, I'll give you guys a coupon code where you can get 10% off. How do you like that? Oh, was that a shameless plug? All my plugs are shameless.
Yeah, Carl, I saw that today. Those things look pretty impressive. He's got a chocolate benchy. I guess they're going to be at Earth.
What is the Cocoa Press?
I guess it's a printer that prints chocolate.
Oh. Cocoa Press wants to enter the Benchy contest as Earth. Patrick said I already had that one. Just so many that it could be.
The benchy contest, I think you should have to build the printer and print the benchy at Earth to qualify.
All in a half an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be done depending on the printers, but which I don't want to give away too much. We'll talk about it later, but I haven't heard back on that. If you know what I'm talking about. But AIO Robotics, you know how much I love AIO Robotics, did send us 12 glorious rolls of PLA to give away at Earth.
Those guys are really swell. We should do something for them.
Yeah.
And that's great since you're driving, man. You can tote stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, the box showed up. Like, I kind of forgot it was coming. And all of a sudden there's a box on the doorstep, and I'm looking, I'm like, what is it? And it was addressed to me, and I'm like, what is this? And then I realized what it was. So we'll figure out how we're going to give that away, if we're just going to give it away individually or in chunks, but that is the whole rainbow collection of filaments. Of course, it's not all their filaments anymore. It used to be all 12 colors that they offered, but now they offer silks and PETGs and
Yeah, we should. If things are going on the same trajectory they are now, we should have some stuff to give away. So it'll be a good time.
yeah, well, we'll definitely have something to give away. So
Yep.
We'll figure that out. But Motorhead Mitch said he's hopping. I think that's supposed to be on the bike, not in the bike. Friday, heading to West Virginia. Shop Butler, it'd be nice to see that filament box from overhead. Just saying.
Well,
They don't come that easy. Martin said he'll be giving away landscapes at Earth again. Well, switch over to the 49-point bed level. It works better.
There's so many people that fly in to the U.S. to go to these printing conventions. It's totally a thing to do. You should just do it.
Oh my gosh, yes. And once you go to one, like, that's it. You're hooked. It is so painful. It is so painful knowing that there's some type of a group meetup coming up and you don't get to go. Like this past year with not going to New York Maker Faire. Like, it was just killing me just to the moment. And then after it was over, then I was okay. But there's no host. Glenn has his Fun King 3D shirt, so my only way to win is overhead cam.
I'd have to be pretty bad off to miss a Rip Rap festival.
This filament is a roll that's been sitting on the floor back here since I got in this camper. It's not being nice.
You have to wring it out first.
Yeah, I mean it's just it started printing the print and then it globbed out this big old glob of filament and yeah.
Well, that's a lot of landscapes, Martin. He says he has 13 people on his hit list to give a landscape to, and then he plans to bring about 20 of them.
Man, that's a lot of painting.
Tom Lama said, "Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not going to Earth. Sorry, Tom." Joe Paddock said, "I can't go to Earth. Rub it in." Well, but you understand exactly what I'm saying. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me because having four plane tickets or driving the four of us there, and blah blah blah, and it's my own fault. But I guess if it came down to it, I'd just leave everybody at home and go by myself.
That's what I do. It's great.
Jay Griffith said I'd have to set off at least a couple of weeks before a show, as I'm not allowed to fly anymore, so I'd have to come over on a ship. Yeah, that would definitely take a while.
That would take a bit. Says the man with no kids. Exactly.
Anybody else got a Mark II carriage laying around?
I have the frog one.
Oh, you have the same one as the Mark III?
You said Mark II?
Yeah.
I got a Mark II, a wooden Mark II that's the same.
I could cut a wooden Mark II. I was meaning one of the aluminum ones. The aluminum one.
But
make yourself
you for free.
Make yourself an MPCNC machine and mill one out of aluminum.
I'm thinking about it. The first layer is going down. I'm happy right now, as long as it sticks.
See, Mad Mike's got a plywood one. They work just fine.
It's not laying down good though. I thought you could do like baby stepping on this while it was up.
You can. Well, you can do layer.
Well, and I'm also I must have gotten a skip too because it didn't even lay the secondary rim around on top of the other one.
Brian Weber says all 3D Maker sells the MK2 carriage. They're in Florida. I tweeted you the link.
Who?
All 3D Makers. That came from Brian Weber.
Yeah, let me look.
I would be very interested to know where in Florida they are, because I'm trying to compile the master list of all Florida 3D people. Glenn, how many episodes of FKB does Fun King Jr. have to join to qualify for Earth? Are we talking about Xander?
So while he's in the chat, so Dave Kennedy is in the chat. Last Sunday, I mentioned that I needed a part made out of aluminum. I sent him an email, 11:38 Central Time, Monday, and I had that part in my hand by 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
Holy cow!
Custom made part. I just sent him an STL file, and it showed up. I could not believe it.
Wow.
This guy is the man. And unfortunately for you, Dave, anytime I need a part, I'm going to send you an email. But
you're on the hook forever, man.
But you don't
one time, and that's it.
You don't have to send it near that fast. No, I'm just kidding. But
it needs to be there the same day.
But that was so awesome. I could not believe it. I was thinking, oh well, 5 or 6 weeks later, I'll have a part and I can finish this project. No, it was amazing. So thank you very much, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
What's the What's the command to do a PID tune on it? I think the Hotends too hot. I think the resistor's different.
M301. I'll get you the parameters here.
Okay.
So how did I not know about this company?
All 3D makers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just says we're operating in the state of Florida. A couple people in the chat have said that they're in Orlando.
They may be like the Gulf Coast one that's up here, Glenn, that I talked to. They operate out the guy's garage because they're basically just an AliExpress.
Yeah, but that I don't really care about that. Just the fact that they're a Florida business, I need to support them. And then on top of that, they need to be involved in things like Orlando Maker Faire and Gainesville Maker Faire. And they need to come to farts.
I put it in the YouTube chat, Walter, but I can read it to you if you'd like.
Well, no, Joe Print said it's in the menu on the Mark II. I see temperature calibration on, but where do you go to actually start it?
Yeah, they have a follow us link on their website, but there's not anything in it.
Let me go to calibration.
Is disgusting barbecue considered a restaurant? What's the call on that square?
No.
Okay.
Let me see.
I found it, Joe. Thank you. It is. It's automatically in the PID tune is in there, but that's not going to change. Don't you have to change the resistor or something for your temperature sensor? But I'm running a Prusa temperature sensor, so I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running the number 5 or whatever it is, that's fine.
Well, and I mean, I guess there could be leftover stuff in the nozzle because I'm running along and I just got this big black blob and I'm printing with like lavender colored filament.
And it's not leaking? Is it leaking on the top?
No, it come out the nozzle.
Oh.
At least it looks like it did.
I wonder if it's moisture.
It could be.
The square on that is debate on best restaurant. So the discussion on barbecue wasn't.
Carl, Dave made it for me. He's here in chat. Right. I don't remember it. There's a lot of them I still have to look up. Like that one.
Your X carriage is melting.
Yeah. Oh. It's PETG and I'm running PLA and there's no direct contact between it and the bed. I mean, yeah, I guess the heat could travel down the standoffs and do that, but I don't at 60C, I doubt it. All right. Well, it did lay plastic. I'll get it sorted out why it's not laying correctly, but
Carl sent me a photo. Give me a second and I will get that set up to share. Y'all need to see this. It's pretty sweet.
Prove it with an overhead shot.
yeah. I'll just show you right here. See, I did get my first Kuntry Tree Frog first layer on there, kind of.
Chris, will you punch up that screen share?
Yes, this will be the first time I've done this. Let's see. There it is.
It's so tiny.
Look how cute it is.
It's funny how some people want things to go smaller.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of like every printer you could set on the FK1, right?
I like Xander in the background.
Was that Xander? I thought it was Xander. Was it? I couldn't see what it said.
This is the first time Walter has seen it. So he can't. Well, he's been working. Oh, looks like Dr. Jekyll just subscribed. Thank you, Dr. Jekyll.
Sub to Peg Leg Paul. Already did.
He's done this like 3 times today, but you haven't noticed because you've been working on your project. But you're a square, you know. All right, beat it.
So this is done.
FedEx shipping $23 just for a nozzle? Jeez.
What's that?
He's looking for someplace. He's trying to get slice parts to Norway. And he wants Bondtech wants $23 for FedEx to ship it just for a nozzle.
It's ridiculous, and they gotta figure something out for this overseas shipping. Like, it is so cost prohibitive to send anything overseas. But I thought Slice just got another. They just got somebody else overseas that's distributing for them.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it is, but shoot them an email, and I bet you they will tell you. I've seen it on Twitter, or maybe it was the Facebook. Nah, it would have had to been Twitter.
I also need to run XYZ calibration on this because I haven't done that either.
And where is it? Where is it going?
Norway, he said.
Norway. Would that be considered Europe?
Yeah.
MVO, EMVIO engineering, MVO engineering. Oh, in fact, here, let me just put this. This is a list of all their distributors. So maybe this will help you.
Yeah, see, Martin 3DP Iceland, he's extra special. He got his hot end delivered by hand from Dan.
I did Murph.
But Walter and I could be at Dan's house in, like, you know, I can be there in like an hour and a half. Walter in a couple hours.
A couple hours.
I had to get mine at IRF. I had to walk all the way to the table and give them money. It was on the other side of the arena, you know. Mapro6 wants to know which wide carriage you need.
Mapro 6 is the Mark II Y carriage.
I hope that works out for you. Any support that I can ever give for Slice Engineering, I will do, not because I owe them or that they owe me or that we have any business dealings, but Dan and Chris are just, they're
excellent people.
Yeah, they're good people to the core.
They very much are.
And again, Florida business. I like to support the Florida businesses.
That should be a square on bingo.
Patrick Nehoff, Glenn, have you taken your medication yet, or is that after dinner? Last 2-minute digit temp. All right. Here, we're just gonna whale this right now. Are you talking about my diabetes medication?
Thank you, Mapro 6. Mapro 6 said he'll cut me one and get it as soon as possible.
Nice.
I know, right? Thank you very much, man.
Bingo. John Butler's our official first bingo winner.
Who got me? I don't believe it.
All right, we need to get
Turn on your overhead camera and show me.
I've only had 3 kills today. I've had 5 attempts, 3 kills.
Orlando at All 3D Makers is not very good at answering emails. Well, that makes me sad, but I'm still going to reach out to him and shake him a little bit. So, thank you, old curmudgeon, for being here.
Yes, that's about food time for all of us.
It's funny when people have screen names like that because it feels like you're calling them names.
I know.
Thanks, dirty jerkbag, for being here.
It's funny because I really like that name. It's like, man, that's an awesome handle, and we got to talking about it on one of those streams, and he's only like 5 years older than me.
Yeah. So you're just a little bit younger, curmudgeon? Is that it?
Exactly. I'm just slightly younger curmudgeon.
Slightly younger curmudgeon.
Yeah. All right, it is time, gentlemen. I think bingo was a success. That's fun. I like it. Glenn, you want to go ahead and do yours?
Sure. All right, everybody. I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and things and things, and we're doing some things, and there's going to be some videos coming out about things. And what's most important is I can be found pretty much everywhere at funking3d.com. We do. We do. When I say we, I prefer contact via Twitter mainly. Otherwise, email Glenn with 2 N's at funking3d.com. I do want to say that I ventured out of 3D printing Twitter today, and Twitter is a very dark, dark hole. So I'm going to just continue to stay right in the 3D printing community part of Twitter. And as I say every week, we appreciate each and every one of you guys being here, because without you guys, this would be senseless for us to do. It would be less productive. I hope that you guys really enjoyed the bingo. I've had a good time. I've had a good time writing it and putting it all together, and I'm still open to taking suggestions. If you have not yet subscribed to the three of us, funcountrybasement.com. There's subscribe buttons right across the bottom. Eventually, there will be a link on there to get the bingo card. Maybe by next. Oh, are we taking next week off?
Yes, that is. Yes. I'm glad you caught that. Yes, we will be off next Sunday for Labor Day.
Okay, so no stream next Sunday.
I will not be here on the 15th.
Okay,
but that's not the week after.
That is the week after. No, wait.
No,
it's not.
That'd be 2 weeks. So, but either way, there won't be a stream a week from today, but there will be a stream 2 weeks from today, with or without Walter. However it works.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the one after that. That's my stream.
That's your stream.
I won't be here.
Okay. Well, we'll jostle. We'll have Chris do it, and then you guys can flip flop or whatever.
All right.
But yeah. So no stream next week. Stream in 2 weeks on my channel, and then that'll take us to Walter.
Hi everybody. I'm Kuntry 3D. You can find me everywhere at Kuntry 3D. And one of these days I'm going to get a bear working, but I have a question for Chris as soon as we get off the air, because this I think is related to the gears that I have on here versus what's on the Prusa, because yeah, this is just stupid. But anyway, you can find me everywhere. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Sorry I wasn't involved in the chat today, but the bear is laying plastic, and hopefully it will be printing properly on Tuesday, and we can tidy it up and get it off my desk on Tuesday, and then we can move on to a bigger round project that I'm going to work on right after that. So that's it. That's it for me.
Excellent. It has been another Sunday fun day on Fun in the Country Basement. It's always a good time. I am Chris Riley from Chris's Basement. You can find me on Twitter if you'd like, Chris Riley 3D. I pretty much just post pictures of things I've destroyed or printed, so not super exciting there. But thank you for everybody for joining. These streams, as Glenn always says, these streams are not possible without you all hanging out with us. They would be pretty much pointless. Jimmy coming huge with $50. That was amazing. Thank you very much for that. As always, that's not necessary, but it is much appreciated. And that's it. That's it for us this week. We'll be off next week, but we shall continue. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
And a quick thanks to Dr. Jekyll for the subscription today. So it's always print on.
Excellent.